This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Safe houses in Minecraft are really cool. Walking houses in Minecraft are really cool. What if you built a walking safe house? How have I never thought to do this? It's almost embarrassing on my part, to be honest with you. It's actually been quite a long time since I've built any form of walking redstone contraption. I feel horrendously out of practice. Like, how does one make a leg? This feels correct in my head. So this pulls up, that is the upward action of the leg, that then moves this across because this sticky piston grabs this, and then in doing so this piston will move on top of this redstone block, extending, which will then push this part of the leg across, and then this will re-extend. Good, the old piston push limit strikes again. So with a slight reduction in foot size, let's see. Oh, that went surprisingly well. Okay, we've got ourselves the bottom section of a leg. Now for the top section, I kind of want it to be staggered inwards, kind of like camber. I want to have camber on this thing's legs. I've got a stance safe house. Too fast, too fury house. Let's not start that again. You have to admit, this is a cool looking leg, isn't it? Like, as far as legs go, this is a nice leg. I've tried my best to add in a bunch of fiddly bits and things that are purely for decoration, so I don't know, I might have gone past the push limit like 1,000 times, but I'm hoping this all works. So we've got a bit at the top that goes up and down, that's like the thigh muscles, and then we have the calf muscles down at the bottom here, and everything should move across by one block. I have made all the backups, so let's see what happens now. I wasn't expecting to hit the push button. Oh wow, yeah, no, that is so obviously past the push limit. What was I thinking? Okay, some minor modifications have been made. Oh. Oh no. Right, I've stripped away all of the decoration because I think that was causing a lot of the issues. And now I have no excuse if this doesn't work. Okay, that looked like it worked, except this top section looks broken. That didn't actually. Ooh, what? Alright, I think this observer and sticky piston combo needs to be one block further down. So then we can get this combination here, there, redstone block stays in that position. And then, okay, because the issue was that this sticky piston was grabbing this afterwards. None of this is making sense. I don't even know why I'm saying it. This literally only makes sense to me. And that's not because I'm smart. That's because the problem is stupid. And only I could have made such a stupid problem. So let's give it a proper go now. And step forward. Excellent. Everything's working. And now with the decoration, this thing is looking pretty evil. And it's all working. We got there in the end. So now it's time to actually plan out the safe house itself. Now, I've given us a 19 by 19 area, which seems like it would be more than enough. And I've concluded that a walking safe house probably would have 6 legs. So I've spaced those out evenly. We've got one leg here, and then we're going to have another 3 legs on the other side. Now I have to go through the painful task of recreating each one of these legs block by block, because if I use the clone command, everything breaks. So while I do that, let's have a message from today's sponsor. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like building a secure Minecraft base, then leaving the door wide open so that anyone can walk in and see what you're doing. And this is coming from the king of building secure Minecraft bases and leaving the door open. Even using incognito mode, your internet service provider, or if you're on a shared Wi-Fi network, the network admin can see exactly what you're up to. So now everyone knows that you've visited howaccomparatorworks.com 36 times and still don't fully get them. Unfortunately, ExpressVPN can't solve the comparator problem, but it can solve the snooping problem because it reroutes your internet connection through a secure encrypted server. But outside of security, ExpressVPN opens up the internet to more content. For example, you can't watch Moonrise Kingdom on the US version of Netflix, which frankly, I'd be kicking up a fuss. Joe Biden would be getting a letter in the post from me if I was a US citizen. It's such a heartwarming film, and it actually played a big part in my interest in filmmaking, and yet those of you who are stateside, you can't watch it. Except of course if you've got ExpressVPN, then you can just connect to a server in England and you can enjoy the warm glow of this Wes Anderson classic. So you should head over to expressvpn.com/mumbo or click the link down in the description to find out how you can get 3 months free. Watch Moonrise Kingdom. It's a good film. I really like it. But before you do, finish watching this video first. All 6 legs of our walking safe house are now in place, and I am beginning to get incredibly excited. I mean, I think we can all agree that this looks pretty ridiculous. This is a really cool looking redstone contraption already. So now we just have to work on linking all of them up. And I think the walking sequence for this will be this leg, then that leg, then this leg, then that leg, this leg, that leg, and then looping back to the beginning. Kind of like a weird millipede, I guess, but with only 6 legs instead of 1,000, so I guess a sixipede. I'm sure all of you will be able to come up with better names down in the comment section. Now, actually linking these things up isn't actually as complicated as you would think. It's just creating a weird kind of chain reaction going through and zigzagging around the redstone contraption. So this should be the final part of that weird chain, which means now I need to link it up back to the beginning, which should be a little bit easier thanks to the fact that we have honey blocks. I don't know why I'm talking about honey blocks as if they're a new addition to the game. They've been around for a while, but I still love them. So here it is. And the thing that I really like about this slime block flying machine is it's probably the clearest showcase of how these things actually function. It's like a self-pushing cycle. Let's just hope that everything actually functions correctly. I'm nervous. I'm super nervous. I don't know why, because I've got about 1,000 backups. But this seems to actually be working. No, it's broken. It's broken. Why is it broken? Why did it break? This broke because clearly there was no observer on it. What a moron. Everything is now back to working order. And now we start to go wild because this is where the safe house is going to be constructed. And the first thing that I have to do is I have to build up a big platform, which, yeah, it's going to look a little bit like this, but it's going to be a lot more slime blocky and honey blocky. We'll get onto that in a second. First, I have to connect up all of these things, and the way that I'm going to do that is actually quite simple. Can you roughly tell what's happening here? We've got almost like a reduction in the number of things that need to be pulled as we go up the line. So here, we only need to pull this one thing, which will then pull these 2 things, which will then pull these 5 things, which then eventually will pull all 19 of these separate structures along. And I have to say, the more that I add to this, the cooler it looks. I mean, look at this thing. It is ridiculous. So the 19 separate structures I was talking about are the different tiles that we're going to have for our floor. This is one floor tile. Then this is another floor tile, and you can see they're connected up to one another, and gradually they'll make their way across like this. This is going to make up the floor of our safe house. So here we can see we have one strip of them fully added in, and these will be making their way all the way across from this side all the way to the other. Now, to add just a little bit of extra security into the mix, I'm going to put lava inside all of these cauldrons here. This is going to make up the floor surrounding our safe house, which already is quite dangerous. The person most likely to fall victim to this is actually me. But I guess if no one can get inside of the house, then that makes it as safe as it possibly can be. I'm a bit of a moron. There's me cloning away, forgetting the fact that these need to alternate between honey blocks and slime blocks. Of course they do, otherwise they all stick to one another. Well, this is looking incredibly, ridiculously, awesomely cool, isn't it? This is looking really, really good. I'm very, very happy with this. Yep, I'm pleased. I'm going to take a screenshot. Might make this my screensaver temporarily. So now that we have our floor all worked out, it's time for us to work out the walls. And I have a bit of an idea, and I'm not sure if it's a good idea or what. But I mean, this makes sense to me. Like, building up the front wall like this makes total sense to me. And then building up the side walls like this also makes total sense to me. So, I mean, if we had... I mean, it could be like this. So then that would be pulled. And then, yeah, we could create the chain reaction there. And then this design here looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of that wall design. I think we could be onto a winner. I definitely think we're onto a winner here. I mean, look at this thing. This chain reaction wall design. How cool is this? The front wall doesn't need anything particularly fancy because it can all be pushed along by this row of pistons right here. So that's all easy. And then our other side wall obviously just mirrors the other side wall. So that's nice and simple. And the back wall should be the easiest of them all because I should just be able to grab the blocks with these sticky pistons right here, and that should do the trick. The only issue is I can't have corner blocks in this situation because I imagine this back wall is actually going to be pulled backwards before these blocks get pulled backwards, which would mean, well, if there were blocks here, it wouldn't actually be able to go anywhere. However, despite this, I still think the design looks really, really cool. I mean, come on. Come on, this is totally ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous now. I'm starting to actually think this is also probably going to get quite ridiculous in the lag department. Yeah, this is probably quite laggy, but then I guess, when has lag ever stopped me in the past? Now it's time for our house. And I'm just trying to work out how I should actually do this. Obviously, we've got all of the slime blocks and things underneath. So we could actually build up the walls of our house like we've done the outer walls of the safe house. Or alternatively, I could push the entire house forwards from the back or pull the entire house forwards from the front. Having given it some serious thought, I think pushing the house from the back is the best option. Just because then we don't have to worry about having any redstone on the inside of our house, which would really affect the ability to actually use the house. So this right here is our wall of pistons, which is going to be pushing our house along, and that is going to be attached, of course, to slime blocks and some honey blocks. And all of this is going to be pushed forwards by our back wall. And with that system in place, then just building the house, I mean, that's just building a house. It's not particularly exciting or interesting. This redstone stuff is way cooler. However, there is one interesting thing going on in here. You can see we've got chains in all of the walls, and that's because there can be no airspace on the inside of this house. Because if there was airspace, everything is being pushed from the back wall. So this right here would gradually travel until it crashes into this chest. Basically, our house would collapse in on itself, and that's not particularly very good. Oh, and I've installed the carpet mod so we can have these movable chests and furnaces and things, because that just makes the house so much better, doesn't it? So now, let's see this thing in action. Oh, and I've added some surprises into the mix, and I really hope they work, because otherwise it could be catastrophic. My heart is pounding like crazy. I'm finding it difficult to speak, but I'm activating everything regardless. And yes, everything is working. My TNT launchers are actually fully functional, and they look fantastic. I mean, this wouldn't be a proper safe house without at least some form of explosion. So I'm gonna try my best to calm down, and I'm gonna try my best to explain everything that we're going on here. Okay, we've got the legs. Let's see, are all the legs working? Yeah, all 6 legs seem to be firing. This guy seems to be walking along nicely. That's fantastic. You know, we've got our security wall. That's all being pulled along quite nicely as well. We've got our lava flooring. That seems to be working. The actual house itself is staying together. We've got our house. Everything seems to be working there. And of course, out the front, we have got these TNT droppers and also TNT launchers that are gradually just destroying the environment in front of this thing. I mean, how cool is this? Come on, how cool is this? How cool is this? It is so cool. This is honestly the greatest. Look, you're about to feel the wrath, chicken. All right, you don't know what you're walking towards, mate. Look at this thing. Imagine you're just minding your own business in the Minecraft world, and you see this crossing the horizon. I would leave the server. There is no place for me there, because this is ridiculous. This is so cool. Alright, really do hope that you've enjoyed this video. It's been a ton of fun to create, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya!